Welcome back, students. If you recall, we started the chapter with nutrition, where food is taken inside and it is utilized, and then this food is broken down to provide energy. So we saw respiration, and after this, transportation of nutrients and other substances occurs through the circulatory system, through blood, heart and the blood vessels. Now, when all these metabolic activities are taking place, there will be some waste produced, waste generated inside our body. So how are these waste removed? Because over a period of time, if they keep on accumulating, they will be toxic, harmful to our body. So they need to be removed from our system. And this is where our excretory system has a very important role to play. So the excretory system again has a set of special tissues and organs which helps in collecting, separating, filtering and also removing these waste products. Now you will have a question in your mind: what is the difference between digestion, which we learnt in nutrition, and excretion? Remember, digestion is only removal of undigested food materials, whereas excretion involves removal of waste products which might also include some harmful substances. Again, when we look at the excretory system of unicellular organisms, let us take the example of amoeba, a unicellular organism. Like all other life processes, excretion also takes place very easily, just by diffusion, right? We saw that other process like respiration and all occurs through diffusion. So here in case of excretion also, what happens, there is a contractile vacuole which is formed inside the body of the amoeba. So along with water, wastes are also collected inside this vacuole, and then they go near the surface of the cell membrane, and from there they are just expelled out or thrown out. So it's a very simple process. But what about in complex organisms like man? As I told you, we have a special organized system called the urinary system or the excretory system, which participates in removal of these wastes. So coming to the structure and parts of excretory system, we have a pair of kidneys. Kidneys are reddish brown in color. We have two kidneys. And where are they located? They are located at the dorsal part of our body. So if you see, the front portion is termed as ventral and the behind portion is termed as dorsal. So our kidneys are placed on the dorsal side on either sides of our vertebral column. And if you see the position of the kidney, the left kidney is just slightly above the right kidney. Okay, so they are placed at the abdominal cavity on the dorsal surface on either sides of the vertebral column, and the left kidney is slightly raised above the right kidney. And if you see the shape of the kidney, they are kidney bean shaped. Okay, so one side of the kidney is convex in shape. The outer surface is convex and the inner surface is concave. So from the inner surface, the concave surface, if you see, there is the entry for arteries. There is that is from that place is where the veins come out, and also from the concave part, the ureters also come out. Okay, so this concave part from where these arteries and veins and ureters they enter and exit, it is termed as hilus. Okay, it's a small fissure, FISSURE, fissure. So here the arteries, they carry oxygenated blood along with the waste which has to be filtered and removed, and once the blood is purified, then the renal veins along with carbon dioxide takes it back to the heart, and the ureters, as I told you, they also come out of the opening of the kidneys. And as we learned about pulmonary artery and pulmonary vein. The term pulmonary relates to lungs. Here also we give it a special name for the arteries and veins which comes and goes from the kidneys. They are termed as renal artery and renal vein. The artery which brings blood is termed as the renal artery, and the vein which carries blood from the kidneys to the heart, they are termed as renal veins. So from the kidneys again there are a pair of ureters which come out. They are around 30 centimeter in length, and these ureters, they come and then they pass the urine into a sac-like structure, pear-shaped sac-like structure, which is termed as the urinary bladder. And this urinary bladder, it will store the urine. It has a capacity of around 800 ml. And then there is the urinary bladder leads to a small tube which is called as urethra, from where urine goes outside our body. So this is the structure of our excretory system. Pair of kidneys. Where are they located? They are located at the dorsal surface on either sides of a vertebral column. Then there are a pair of ureters, urinary bladder and urethra. Now if you see inside the kidneys, it contains millions of filtration units, and these filtration units are termed as nephron. Okay, so each kidney, if you see, they have around 1 million filtration unit, and this filtration unit is termed as nephron. So now let's learn about the structure and function of these filtration units. Now each filtration unit or each nephron, they consist of these many parts. Each nephron, they consist of a cup-like structure which is called as Bowman's capsule. Okay, B-O-W-M-A-N-N-S, Bowman's capsule. And if you see inside this cup or the Bowman's capsule, there will be bundle or bunch of blood vessels or capillaries, and these capillaries, they are termed as glomerulus. G-L-O-M-E-R-U-L-U-S. So there is a cup-like structure, Bowman's capsule, and inside, if you see, there will be bundle of blood capillaries which are termed as glomerulus. So just below this Bowman's capsule, if you see that there is a tubule, tube-like structure. So this tube-like structure actually goes below. Okay, it goes down. So it is called as the descending tubule. From top it goes down slowly. It is called the descending tubule, and this also has got a special name. It's called as proximal convoluted tubule or PCT. And then there is a loop, U-shaped loop, which is called as Henle's loop, H-E-N-L-E, Henle's loop. And after this loop, it slowly starts coming upwards, which is the ascending tubule. It is also given a separate name, which is distal convoluted tubule, DCT. And then this tubule later leads into a duct or a collecting tube. Okay, so remember, there is a Bowman's capsule, a cup-shaped structure. We are talking about each nephron unit. There is a Bowman's capsule. Inside, glomerulus, which are a bunch of blood capillaries. From the Bowman's capsule, you will see PCT or proximal convoluted tubule. Then there is Henle's loop, and then it comes upwards, which is the distal convoluted tubule, and this leads to the collecting duct. And this entire U-shaped tubule which we learned, it is completely connected to the blood capillaries. So the entire nephron unit is connected to the blood capillaries. So this is where actually absorption, filtration and secretion occurs. Let us see how these process occurs, what are the different steps involved here, and what is the function of nephron. So now let's see what happens inside this nephron or filtration unit. This is where urine is actually formed. So in the first step, ultrafiltration or filtration occurs. So the renal artery brings the blood along with the veins. It enters inside the kidney and it is sent to the nephron. So the nephron has these capillaries, blood capillaries, or we call it as glomerulus. So first blood flows under high pressure. So this is termed as ultrafiltration. And what happens here? Filtration of different types of solutes takes place. So this is the first step. As soon as blood enters, filtration or ultrafiltration occurs. And whatever filtrate is there, after filtration, whatever filtrate we get, that filtrate is now sent into Bowman's capsule. And now it enters into the PCT, proximal convoluted tubule. So what happens here in this tubule? Here reabsorption occurs. Reabsorption of what occurs? Reabsorption of many useful components like glucose, vitamins, hormones, amino acids. Whatever important components are still there in this blood, all this absorption occurs now. So this is the second step which occurs in PCT, and this step is termed as reabsorption. So after this, the next step occurs in the DCT, that is distal convoluted tubule, and the next step is tubular secretion. So during tubular secretion, what happens? All the waste products like urea, uric acid, creatinine and all the unwanted salts, everything is filtered out and it is sent back along with the blood. So remember, first step is ultrafiltration. Next step is reabsorption. During reabsorption of water also occurs in PCT, and during tubular secretion, all the unwanted harmful products are secreted out. And then what happens in the Henle's loop? Henle's loop also helps in reabsorption of water. And then finally now this filtrate, this concentrated filtrate is sent from the DCT to the collecting tube. So here in the last step, after the urine goes to the collecting tube, there a hormone is secreted only when concentrated urine has to be passed. This hormone, as I told you, is secreted in the collecting tubule, and it is termed as ADH or vasopressin, antidiuretic hormone. And in case this hormone is not secreted, it leads to a disease called as diabetes insipidus. Okay, it is different from the other diabetes. That is because of lack of synthesis of insulin. This is because of lack of synthesis of a hormone called as vasopressin or ADH. So this hormone is not always released. It is only released when urine has to be passed in concentrated form, when you don't intake too much of water. And in case this hormone is not secreted, as I told you, it might result in a disease called as diabetes insipidus. And what happens in this condition is where dilute urine is passed, okay, at regular intervals. So this also need to be treated. So remember, we were looking at the different steps which occurs in filtration, how urine is formed inside the kidneys. It occurs inside the nephron. Renal arteries brings blood along with waste. So first step is ultrafiltration, which occurs inside the blood capillaries or by the glomerulus. Then after that it passes into the PCT, where reabsorption occurs, reabsorption of useful components along with water. And after that Henle's loop also helps in absorption of water. And after that tubular secretion continuously occurs in the DCT, where waste products are secreted by the blood capillaries. And later the concentrated urine is sent from the DCT back to the collecting duct, and from the collecting duct it goes to the ureters, from the ureters to the urinary bladder, and from the urinary bladder it is removed from the body through the urethra. And this again takes place by a special set of muscles called as the sphincter muscle. So I hope all these processes are clear to you, from the structure of kidneys to how urine is formed. So until we meet in the next class, goodbye children.